Ooh, hello people. I hope we're all doing well. Disasters were had, problems were made, mistakes encountered. But hey ho, here we are, yet again, on a Saturday afternoon, thinking about Delta Green. There have been so many exciting things this week, it's kind of hard to really focus, because in just the past few days, what's happened? Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Ooh, are we all having fun in that? I hope so. Then Werewolf came out. Ooh, Werewolf. So that's Werewolf the Apocalypse, 5th edition rules. It's good. It's got the punk in it. Lots of punk. Real punk. And what else? Yeah, and surprise drop, the Star Trek Captain's Log rule set came out. So that didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know it was coming. Very excited because I've tried to cobble together a few things in the past around playing Star Trek kind of solo, or just in general. But that rule set looks like it could be a lot of fun. So expect to see that coming up. And yeah, Delta Green today. So we had a little look at the system last week, and this week we're gonna have a little bit more of a look at the system. And yeah, I've got some bits of and something else that I've got. Let me just yes, good. For a moment there I sat there thinking, oh no, have I left myself muted, and I've just been here mute for the last 5 minutes. No, I haven't, so we're good, we're fine, we're safe, we're all doody dandy on that. Dilly doo, doody dandy, hyper good. I sat down to try to watch 1984 the other day. That was fine. I've read the book. I had to read it for school back in the days. Well, I didn't have to. I did it for my A-levels. Yes, slime-based A-levels. I've been pretending to be a human for a long time. What do I need? Oh, I need this. That's what I need. So, what we've got. I'm going to play around with this today, see if this helps us out. So this is the Solo Investigator's Handbook. There's also like a solo, there's an actual kind of, oh no, it's, what's it called? Trail of Cthulhu. There's a Trail of Cthulhu solo book. Maybe we'll look at that one day. Not today. Standard stuff, NPC sheets, basic oracle, but this is it. My physical copy of a player's guide for Vampire. Exciting. Look, it's physical. Makes noise when you slap it on the table. So, yeah, this is cool. So, I love what they've been doing with these books and the 5th edition of Vampire, but more specifically Werewolf, because I think Werewolf is a lot touchier. There are some things they definitely needed to really clean up with Vampire, like what were the Assamites and what were the Ravnos in particular, and the Samedi. Right, they as 3 clans were very kind of like heavily based on certain stereotypes that are best left in their respective past, their respective timelines, right, back in the day. So the Assassinite become the Banu Hakim, the Samedi got rid of and they become the Hekata, so that's cool. Really pretty book. I like it. They've got a lot more drawn stuff in this book, whereas kind of I felt a problem with the main Vampire book, which I've got over here. That a lot of it was kind of like effects over effects over stock art or kind of photography, and that I didn't think was great. So that's still in here somewhat, but it feels like there's a lot more kind of really nifty drawings, and I like that. I think it's cool. So yeah, this is a really cool book. I'm sure I mentioned it before, but oh yeah, also the followers of Set have been fixed and aren't what they were, right? So they become the Ministry. Now some of this might have happened in 3rd or 4th edition, but I don't know because I don't play them. I think this is a good book. I like it. I really need to get way deeper into vampire, but now werewolf, right? So I've got to get more into werewolf because werewolf's the book we need, right? Whereas I kind of find that vampire really at its root is all about being, the monster of capitalism, right? It's all about kind of there are elements to the vampire universe which are subversive, but predominantly, right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be an anarch, I want to do this, I want to do that, but really it's inherently tied into a patriarchal capitalistic hierarchy, and it's all about primitive accumulation and me first, right? Which is why I'm really excited by werewolf, because werewolf is the opposite, right? Werewolf is the punk, and when I say punk there, I mean not kind of like the age aesthetic, but I mean like the idea of being a counterpoint, a revolutionary viewpoint on the current system, right? I feel that the werewolf's a really quite revolutionary book in that sense. So that's cool, and I'm looking forward to running werewolf, and I'm probably going to do, I think I'll be saying this before, I'm going to be doing it as kind of short videos. I'll probably make some of those today and see when I can get something out. I mean, really what I'll be doing is I'll be doing like a stream for all intents and purposes, just to myself, and then cut that up into reasonably sized blocks. So let me know if you're more interested in vampire as well, because I am interested in it. It's just, yeah, there's a lot going on in the world, and I think werewolf is more where it's at, if you see what I mean. But dark green. So I've got a few aids. I've got my standard super simple 1-page engine, so that's going to get some action today, because I'm thinking we're going to approach play today in the kind of more play to find out kind of way, right? So we're going to see how that goes. I got some of these simple NPC sheets just in case I need them. I probably won't, but you'll never know. We'll never know until we see. I've also got the gem, adventure, and campaign logs if in case I need them. So yeah. Okay, cool. And of course the audio is coming out of my foundry. I was doing my nails earlier. Don't you see that? So, top bananas. Okay, right. Let's put a little... I can put a chat somewhere where I'm definitely going to see it if anyone says anything. I mean, not that anyone's going to say anything, but if someone did say something, I want to be able to see it. So right there in the middle, boom. I'll see it if anyone does or says anything. Okay. So yeah, I've got Foundry running as well. So if we do that, here we go. We got Foundry running. It's in the background. So we're going to start with this this English adventure, I feel, and we're going to make one character. So they are going to be the investigator, we'll just knock them together reasonably quickly, I think. So I also got Black Seal, which is it's an English made, a British made, probably English made. Zine. I mean, it's a bit more substantial. It's like 50 pages a thing. There's like 5. There's 3 of them. Right? Black Seal 1 through 3, and it focuses on Pisces and all that kind of thing from a British point of view. But I kind of feel that it is that the way Pisces is portrayed is like hyper competent, and I feel that kind of ties into a lot of the ideas that people have about a lot of British people of a specific set of demographics have about British secret services and British special forces, right? Where they really kind of imagine them as the pinnacle of all clandestine operations in those areas, right? They kind of a lot of people view that kind of thing in Britain as like, oh, well, we may not have all this other stuff left, but we do still have the best of this and that. And you're like, I kind of presume it's a lot of kind of mid-rank civil servants being kind of normal. So there you go. I don't think that I don't like that kind of the hyper competence around the stuff in those books. So yeah, we'll just go with that for now. Other than that, there's some really cool stuff in and if I wanted to run like a hyper competent outfit, then sure. But I kind of feel that removes from the entire point of the mythos, right? Which is humanity is helpless in the face of the knowledge of the mythos. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I was playing this with a friend and I just noticed something. That. We were using this person doesn't exist to generate portraits of characters, and yeah. So yeah, the adventures in it look good, but we'll see where we go. The character templates. I was looking for the character templates. That's a line. No, he's not mad. There really are spiders in his brain. Another problem I have is that I've not eaten, so I'm quite hungry. And I'm thinking about food a lot. So that's a thing. Well, I also noticed that I should have not been really starting until 2. Oh, another thing that's happened and is occurring is Heartstopper season 2 is out, and I watched the first episode and I started watching the second episode before I started this, and stressful because you don't want anything bad to happen, and you're like, I know that in season 2 things are going to pick up, and yeah, parents, punch me in the face. I hate parents. I don't really, but I mean, kid, yeah, that's going to be a thing, right? It's kind of once we're a few weeks in, maybe I'll ramble about it a bit, but until then, I'm watching it. It's great. I wonder if anyone else has to pause every 5 minutes to kind of collect themselves for the next 5 minutes. But probably not. It's probably just a me thing. It's a slime thing, I tell you. My little humans. It's a slime thing. So cool, right? We're gonna make a character. there are lots of things to remember. Oh yeah, and on the hypercompetence. Sorry, and it being against the whole idea. I think I listened to the Dark Forest, which is the second book in the three body problem, and beyond it giving. So I have a problem with kind of long, rambling, boring. Ironic considering my patterns of conversation, but the kind of long, rambling books, and I find the kind of main characters outside of a police officer in the three body problem to just be tedious. But one thing that I did think was kind of cool was when and I think the relevance here is that when the giant space fleet, sorry, spoilers if you care, coming up, it's hot at you, hot off the press, spoilers for the Dark Forest. As if you didn't see it coming. The moment everyone was like, "Oh, everything's great. We have got nothing to worry about. Massive space fleet." Right, but if that doesn't trigger a warning in your brain, here you go. We're going. Do. So the giant fleet, thousands of ships, and they're like, "Aha, we're so great." And one like some tiny little kind of Trilarian ship rocks up, and they're like, "Oh, we'll be able to show they're clearly coming here to surrender." And this one little ball just turns into a projectile and just zooms through all the fleet at like ridiculous speed, and it like obliterates the entire human fleet, which is like a single ball of metal for all intents and purposes. And that's the kind of thing to bear in mind, I think, when it comes to the mythos, right? Is that sure, we're more technologically and philosophically and mathematically advanced than people were in like 1890 or 1930 when a lot of Cthulhu stuff happened, and we've technically mapped a lot of the world. But at the end of the day, if the mythos creatures did exist, right? All we've done is like got like, if the distance between us and like the deep ones, right, is like the distance is like a mile long, right? That's the distance from us technologically to the deep ones, right? We're a mile away, right? We've just moved like a couple of inches, maybe a meter. Ironic using meters and miles together, but welcome to England. We've moved like a meter towards that mile long gap between us, and that gap makes that scene in the Dark Forest. That's like the gap. That's like the gap of 10 meters between us and the Trisolarans. Right, the gap between us and like the elder gods is like it's an immeasurable distance, right? So the idea that the creation of a hyper-competent agency is possible is kind of ridiculous, which is why I kind of like the Laundry, but at the same time the Laundry falls into some of the same tropes of hyper-competence. Whatever. It is what it is. So clearly I'm currently out of date on something. I don't know what it is, but it's both Delta Green and Foundry Virtual Tabletop are both behind. Whatever. Sorry, just having a wee cough there. Right. Actors? Yes. We're going to create a new actor. Create folder. Oh wait, I've already got one for solo. Cool. Oh yeah, I made two characters, didn't I, before, and they were both rubbish. Well, they had problems. Let's put it that way. Alex Anderson. So I ended up with like a a doctor of some sort, and a other one. But this isn't. These aren't characters that we're going to use. So junk characters. Junk characters go into the junk folder. Thank you. They might get used for something. We'll see. And then actors. Come on. Right. Oh, I've already got actors. Create an actor. Create an actor. Solo actor. Right. So there's a point character creation system in here, I think. The agent's handbook. Where's the character creation section? I'm in the book. I'm taking a quick look. Detailed professions. So what I want to use is I want to use a point system for stats, so that they aren't rubbish. 72 points to divide between 6 stats. Okay. Calculator. Come to me, calculator. 72 divided by 6. So that's 12 per stat by default. Okay. So let's just ratchet that in for a moment. Physical, yeah. So if we start off with 12s in everything. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Cool. So this is going to be a kind of police detective. So I don't think we're going to be particularly strong. Maybe like an older, kind of more, not older, but you know, a middle-aged police detective. So it's like CID or something. Let me just get a separate Chrome open so I can mostly because I wanted to say what, CID, Crime Investigation Department. You'll probably, I don't think it exists anymore in England. United Kingdom does it. Detectives are usually either assigned to CID unit within a local policing command, or to a centralised specialised unit dealing with a specific type of crime, such as fraud or sexual offences. Most local police stations have more uniformed officers than CID officers. A smaller station may have 5 DCs with a detective sergeant in command, while larger stations would have more CID officers under a detective or higher rank. A particular case would be assigned to a senior investigating officer. Those ranks depend on the seriousness of the crime and their force's policy. Cool. So yeah, you're probably like a detective constable or a detective sergeant or a detective inspector. Probably a detective inspector. Not. Maybe. Let's have a quick look. Within the British Police, Inspector is the second supervisory rank. It is senior to a sergeant and junior. The rank Inspector exists since the foundation of the Metropolitan Police in 1829. Basically set up to keep the proles in line, based on the Irish constabulary that we set up to stop workers from complaining about being starved to death. Never forget, eh? Plainclothes detectives. The prefect detective identifying. Okay. That's so they're like they're probably like a detective sergeant or a detective inspector. That seems about right. And they're stuck in like a backwater area. So we've taken a bunch off their physical stats, given us do 4 points. Just play with. 76 is actually quite a small number when you consider that 3d6 average is what? 9, 10, 10? I suppose it's a bit above the average. So we're going to go intelligence 13, power 13, and charisma 14, like so. And then that means sanity is 5 times 13, 50, 65. Cool. It calculates the right hand side of my hit points for me. 15. Right. Cool. So that's that. Okay, skills, mental, get mental. Our breaking point is 65 minus 13. So what's that, people? 65 to 15, 5, 52. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Gear, CV, contacts. Right, skills. So we're gonna make them a... If we just scroll down, do we have a relevant one? I kind of think that federal agent might be the most comparable one, except we get rid of additional professions, criminals, firefighters, intelligence analyst, media, nurse, police officer. What's the difference in look between the police officer and... So that's a police officer, and the federal agent is alertness, bureaucracy, criminology, drive, firearms, forensics, human intelligence, law, persuade, search, unarmed combat, and we can take an optional in accounting, computer science, foreign language, heavy weapons, and pharmacy. Police officer is alertness, bureaucracy, criminology, drive, firearms, first aid, human intelligence, law, melee weapons, navigate, persuade, search, unarmed combat. So I'm going to use the federal agent, and we're going to replace firearms with something else. So alertness 50, so that takes it up to 70. Bureaucracy 40, takes it up to 50. Drive 50, takes it up to 70. I often wonder, and I've wondered this before, as to whether or not these are supposed to be additive or not. I treat them as additive because I don't really care. Firearms, not going to. In fact, we're British. 0. We don't learn how to use guns. What can I say? Forensics, I think about 50 might go on the first arms in. Forensics, F, letter F. Forensics goes to 30. Human intelligence, 70. Law is 30. Persuade is 70. Search is 50, so it's 70, and unarmed combat is 60. I guess 99. So this is where I started to think that maybe these are supposed to be flat numbers, not improved numbers. I don't find it's particularly clear, but each profession has a predefined kit of skills replace for default. Nah, silly me. So they replace for default. So let's go back and do this properly then. So alertness is 50. 50. Bureaucracy is 40. Criminology is 50. Oh, I forgot to put that in first time. There you go. Result. Drive is 50. Lucky I double checked, eh? Otherwise it would all have been terribly wrong. Firearms is 0. So I should probably give him another 10 points elsewhere as well to make up for that loss of firearms, but we'll sort that out later. So that gives him 40 extra points somewhere else. Forensics is 30. Human intelligence is 60. Law is 30. Persuade is, I don't know where we started. Oh right, persuade, we just replaced it with 50. Search is 50. And unarmed combat is 60. Right, okay. 60. And then we take accounting at 60. Yeah. So we've got another 40 points, 50 points to spend, because I think you Americans start off with a 10, don't you? Firearms. Let's just double check. Test. Test. Firearms 20. Gee, you're all really good at your guns, eh? And I think that gives them 60 points to spread elsewhere. So, well, and it's because of that, we'll give navigate 20 from the firearms pile, because I reckon we're in the 90s, so no GPSs, so you need to be able to read a map better, and I reckon probably better history education, although not that much better. So if you have a 40, so the 40 from the actual career, I reckon they put 50 of that into there, and what else makes sense? Nothing start. Oh, unarmed combat starts. Human starts at 60 as well. So I think we can start off with a 60. So I reckon we'll do. They get search at 60 and persuade at 60. Right. Okay. And then we get, what was it? 3 more at. We get 3 more at 15, 14, 12, 11, 10, 10. Right, this is more. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. 13, yeah. That'll make sense. Okay, there was a. Where's that summary sheet? There it is. So, choose a profession, write down a profession skills, bonus agent point. Pick 8 skills and increase them by 20 points. Right, cool. So, 8 skills and increase them by 20 points. So we're going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8, I suppose. Okay, that looks good. And then define the bonds. Okay, so how many bonds does a federal agent start off with? 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Number 1 will be Angie, my wife. Wife. The kids. The kids. My children. He probably doesn't remember their names. And one last one. What do you think the last bond should be? Universe. Is he having an affair? They're always having affairs, these police officers. And they're not beating up their wives for having affairs. Well, I mean, he's a detective, not a normal run-of-the-mill police officer. But there's still a good chance that he's beating his wife. Or maybe he's going undercover and sleeping with random women. I mean, that's what they're... That was big in, like, the 80s and 90s. Let's think. Ah, of course. It's going to be his it's going to be Henry Wellington. It's going to be Henry Wellington. Who is Henry Wellington? His rookie partner. Okay, so there is going to be another character, but they're just going to be an NPC. So, well, in fact, let's do it then. Let's do this. Let's open up for a bit of a cam, bit of your cam window. Yoink. No, yoink. No, yoink. There we go. Third time's the charm, people. Third time's the charm. I'm not very good with my left hand, but unfortunately, as noted, right, this slime can't get their shoulder right. Can't get its shoulder right. It's just wrong, and yeah. So, I've hidden my pencils. Where have I hidden my pencils? Let me know if you see my pencils anyway. I know where they are. They're over here. Yes. Hidden pencils rediscovered. So this is Henry Wellington. Henry Wellington. Traits: young, eager, naive. Maybe young, know-it-all. Right. I'm not basing this on like Morse or Taggart at all, as in these two characters, not at all. Know it all. Also, another good one, if you've not seen it, is Split Second. Poof, there's a show. Values, knowledge, justice, girlfriend. Again, we're talking like police in the 90s. There is no... Yeah, I think it's safe to say there is no more kind of systemically patriarchal, cis-het normative organisation. Maybe the army and politicians. Quirk. We don't know yet. We'll cut. Have I got a table somewhere that might give me a quirk? I bet I do actually. If I go into mythic, I'm probably going to get Brett to, not Brett, Brett. Come to me, Brett. No, Pret to deliver me cheap coffee. Well, expensive coffee and sandwich. Maybe I'll get one from somewhere else. Hold on. Yeah, let's pick this trait. Characters, backgrounds, appearance, motivations, conversations, general actions, traits and flaws. Here we go. I don't like those traits. Roll again. Don't like that one. No, don't like any of those. Oh, actually, big lad, and his dad is a chief constable. Right. Cool. Bond. So this one's got plot girlfriend. Went to Eton. Rugby lad. Whereas we know, because of Heartstopper, not all rugby lads are Muppets, but they are gay, bisexual. This is unsurprising. Imogen fancy Ben. How terrible. That's going to end in tragedy. Bond. Yes, so I mean the Bond to the character we already know, right? Rookie. So again, I expect that this one can use computers, right? You got good with the old Excel skills. Can get around an AS400 system that they use for inputting crimes and stuff, right? So that's going to be Henry Wellington. He's kind of like, more up on the modern stuff, but is still a Tory wanker. Okay, that seems like a good start for 10. That seems like a good starter for 10. And then, look, right, I'm going to go to the internet and I'm going to tell them to bring me some food. And what are we going to eat? That's the question. We'll go to the old Deliveroo. Look for places near me. Is that open? It's open. Do they have any good looking food? The problem is, right, this place used to have like a thing that I loved, but then they got rid of it. And I'm going to tell you, I am, and I was, and I will continue to be really, really sad. They used to do this fantastic cheese and harissa paste toasty, and it was awesome. But now they do not. I presume it's because they decided to go fully vegan, and so they had to get rid of the cheddar, which, I get it, but I did really like that sandwich. But I'm cool with it. They don't have anything that I like to eat there anymore, but that's you do you. What else do we think we could eat? Sushi? That's an option. Easy to get in your mouth and quite quick to get delivered. But I do also want coffee. There's a problem. You don't get any coffee and sushi places. Sort it out. universe. Fill that niche just for me down the road. That'd be great. Could you? No? Yes? No? You're gonna? No. No, of course not. Okay. Oh look, that looks like another ghost kitchen. I bet it is. So this is one of the things now I always kind of have to check out, right? I look at the thing and I go, is this looking like a legitimate food place? Or is it looking like Mr. Beast's foul food ride? And it looks like it's probably the latter. If we go to map, where is it? Right, there we go. Okay, location. There, okay. Now what if I do go here and I go to Street View? Let's go here and take a little look at where this eatery is on the old Googlios. That doesn't look like a place where anybody does anything. Let's have a look. Where is my little street view person? I'm not even going to get anything from here, at least not right now. That doesn't look like a place where. What? So apparently this eatery is is inside of what can only be described as an office building. A literal office building, not like kind of an office building. I mean a literal office building. There's no kitchen in this building. I don't believe you. You're lying to me. So this is the problem nowadays, I think, is that you go there, you go, oh, is this a delicious food eatery location? No, that's just an office. Yeah. So maybe not put there. Maybe not put their real stuff on there. Maybe. Anyway, this is completely immaterial. I'm hungry. Just stop investigating. I just get prep. Why? Because it's a known quantity, and they'll deliver my food, and I'll put it into my face, and I will consume it. That's why. My housemate doesn't like it when I do that. But tough. He's not here. If he was here, he'd have purchased a beautiful, beautiful coffee. But he's not. It's just me. So, I am going to get. I'm going to get. I could just have a bag of crisps. But I'm hungry. The problem there is that it's all so boring. It's all so boring. But you can just go, I'll have one of those. Some of your £2 crisps. I'll have that. And I'll have a ham, cheese and mustard toasty. That sounds exciting. I made a mistake the other day and I bought the Chipotle chips and I was like, crisps, not chips. Don't catch that one. No one will, so it's fine. I would never call crisps chips. Never. Never, ever, ever. Wouldn't happen. Never gonna happen. You can't say otherwise. Right. Okay. Straightforward, but ordered. Right, anyway. So we've written that person down. Cool. 85. So, what's interesting in here is what tables have we got? So we've got a character, they're ready to go. We've got an NPC that's going to support them. We've got a bunch of bonds. And let's have a look in here. Oh, I really printed this wrong. Page 10, right. Guess we have to do it this way. Like so. The Innsmouth rule. We'll create an optional rule here called the Innsmouth rule. This states that when choosing between different options for the story advancement, you should always choose the one that is most perilous to your investigator. Please note this rule is optional. Yeah, that's interesting. Scenario generation. So this is a D100 table. Let's see what we get. 67. 67. A local politician begins acting very strangely, then goes mad. He ends up murdering his whole family, but protests his innocence endlessly. Oh, well, this sounds like after exhausting all leads, the representatives come to you offering... Well, so we won't need to get to that part. And we don't... So that's 67 to 68. That sounds good. So we received the quest because it's provided to us. It's on our sheet. We're in like what's it called? Bista? Yeah. This is the place. Maps. Is it? Maps. Is it Bista? No, that's not the place. Completely wrong place. Not Bista at all. What I'm thinking about is... Oh. Maybe it's... Yeah, I'm more thinking around Richmond, Darlington way, but not any of those bigger places. Somewhere slightly. So lots of the trail of there's a whole bunch of trail of Cthulhu modules based in and around the Yorkshire ways, and I think that's probably a good place to start to set ourselves. Let's go to my drive-through RPG a moment. Let's get rid of that. Trail. Yeah. If we look at like not dying of St. Margaret. Dancing with Blood. If we look at Dancing with Blood. Oh, Keswick. There we go. Let's just double check for that's where I kind of thought it was. Keswick. Yeah. It's on the other side. This is the Lake District. That'll do. It's a good place. You've got all kinds of funny places around there. Cockermouth and Pap Castle and all places that when we take a look on Google Maps, they're going to look the same now as they looked, 60, 70 years ago. So that will be fine. Pret is preparing my order. Good for them. We've got pubs and we've got all sorts. So that's fine. So we're going to start off in Keswick. And yeah, cool. Keswick, 1990s. Why is Keswick so popular? I don't know. I didn't know it was popular. But it's going to become unpopular in this world. Keswick, I presume we don't have an MP. MP? Keswick. MP. Ah. Unsurprisingly, they're a Tory. Shock horror. Cumbria. Okay, who is a politician in Cumbria or a local politician? Any. We won't use real people, but they will be a Tory. So that's something to bear in mind. Well, that immediately opens up a whole array of options, right? So, Tories, upper class toffs. Let's note some of these ideas down. And let's note them down in here. Let's put that onto the screen. And let's this one. Right, so Lake District, Keswick, Cumbria. So local politician kills family, claims. Yes. That sounds good. Tory, upper class, toff, weird stories about the family past, probably cult-ish stuff. Upper class. Let's put these into like so. Right, just some notes there for us to be aware of. Case lands my desk. Morning. Called to. Let's see. That probably sounds like a good start for 10. Who is it? Reginald Harris. Of the Harris family. The Harris family. Old school Tory MP. There's probably a PR assistant. So this will be like, well, it's 98-ish time. So the Tories have taken a beating by New Labour just recently. And they won't see power again for 12 years or so. Good times. I mean, they could have been better times. I mean, it would have been good if we had more Labour people in the Labour Party, but, beggars can't be choosers. And it's a death by a million cuts. And now the world's on fire. So, PR assistant, slimy, know-it-all, media savvy, probably a news reporter. News reporter. Oh, and what's the PR assistant is going to be also stylish. Stylish in a plain kind of way. Yeah. PR assistant. We're talking Cumbria, so Davin Smith. Davin Smith, right? News reporter. Works for the Cumbria Rabble. No, Cumbria. The Cumbrian Post. The Cumbrian Post. Muckraker. Muckraker. And for some reason it could be and back then, actually, not a news reporter, journalist. Cumbria Post. Sally Wiseman. Muckraker. Question mark. Investigative. Possible source of leads. Possible source. Ongoing leads. Ongoing leads. And investigate isn't spelled with an A. Not there anyway. Where's my order? It's coming. It's on a bicycle apparently. My bicycle delivery driver is Nor. There you go. I'll probably have 5 seconds or so and try and cram some of that food into my body whilst we're doing that. But before then, anyone else? Well, of course, there's the family. So, family. Well, of course, a wife and 2 children. Male teenagers, right? Right. Mistress? Definitely. Mistress. Dead family. Mistress. Nancy. Nancy. Jones. I think that's kind of, and I think we're going to throw in a faction, right? Cult. We don't know anything about them. They may not exist. I might be entirely off the thingamajig, but I think it probably does. And we played to find out, right? We play to find out. Oh, of course, the cult's just fallen off the bomb, but that's fine. Okay, cool. Once the sandwich arrives, it'll be good to eat the sandwich, and that'll be great. That'll be wonderful. That'll be perfection multiplied by several numbers. None of those numbers just being 1. So we'll say multiplied by 6. Fun multiplied by 6. So I kind of view the PR assistant all start off by like, oh, it's got nothing to do with him, something else happened, and then kind of like veer away. They kind of feel like they're probably a temporary element within this. So I'm curious, are we going to find out that it's like some kind of parasite? Is it going to be a book? Is it going to be a cult? Right? Lots of options, I think. So this kind of sets up a lot of the extra stuff. We need to rewrite that gender table. Trans folks have existed since the time immemorial, as long as there's been people. In fact, I mean, I suppose hypothetically at some point they didn't, because at no point did they consider they hadn't locked themselves into a gender binary, at which point, yeah. Handouts. Mutable deceptions. What's that? Mutable deceptions. What's that like? Mutable deceptions. Mutable period newspaper props. Oh, that's cool. I'll have a look into some of those in the future. Okay. Journaling. So I don't like to journal. You already know that. That's why we do this. Story direction tables. Time frame. Margin notes. For story direction table. Add mythos points to the roll. See the mythos points below. 1 to 20 downtime. Mythos point. Insight points. Undisturbed downtime. Reduced for mythos. Okay, we still need to find out what the mythos points are. Insight points. Oh. 1 second. I think that might be... No, not yet. Not yet. 41 to 60 insight points. If you succeed on skill roll, then you gain the clue. And you also gain an insight point. Every insight point gained can be spent to purchase bonus dice, which can be applied to any result. Take this as your investigator gaining valuable insight. Okay. Danger. Fine. Mythos points. Okay. When scary things happen, mythos points escalate tension. Whenever something terrifying, scary, or just unsettling happens, add to a mythos point score. Track mythos points in your journal, perhaps in a corner of the page. They scale upwards according to the severity of the event. Fine. Okay, where's this sandwich? It's almost here. It's almost here. That's I mean, we've got kind of a good start. Start for 10 for an adventure, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, cool. Top bananas. Top bananas, the toppiest of bananas. Keswick's very small. That's why it's a good place to do this kind of thing. Well, Keswick and its surrounding areas, right? So, Penrith. In fact, maybe we're based in Penrith and we have to travel. Oh, I think so. And it'll be easier to say Penrith a lot than it will be to say Cockermouth, which, you know, lands different. Well, there we go. Ooh. So I'm going to be just 5 minutes, I expect, and then be right back, and I'll not be sat here starving. That'll be good, right? That'll be good. Okay. 1 second. Possibly 2. Okay, here I go. Find the thingamajig. Thingamajig located. And then, here you go. Be right back. Oh, and we're back. Well, not fully back. Now we're back. Now we're fully back. Back once again. Like for Renegade Master. D4 Damager. Power to the people. God, I still have some coffee to drink. But I've eaten. I'm sated. I'm ready for an evening of making werewolf characters and all sorts of good fun times. So I hope the universe will look forward to those shorter and easier to watch and more consumable videos. But we'll see. We'll see. Cool. So yeah. Let's get let's get started. You can see me, I can see you. I've got a cup of coffee that'll go inside of me. Bits of crisp stuck in my fluid pipes. Cool. Right, top bananas. So it's a tired Sunday morning, and detective inspector. Where's his name? Has he not got one yet? He doesn't have one yet. Well, that was a mistake. So they are a detective inspector, and their name is Englishman. Just go over here and ask for a remarkably English name. Fantasy name generator. Fantasy names, English names. See what I did there? No? Historic 20th century English. There we go. Male. Oh, Philip Butler. That was good. Philip Butler. I'm going with Philip Butler. That is a name. I tell you what. That's a name. That Detective Inspector Butler. Philip Butler. Right. So Detective Inspector Butler. So he's in bed with he's woken up. It's the morning, probably like 7 a.m. It's July, so it's as noted. It's quite warm. Yeah, 21 degrees, a light breeze. That's a nice kind of max. It's currently 19 degrees. It's a bit overcast. I want to jump for time all in one block, because if I jump it in little blocks, bad things will happen. Basically, I've got my weather API plugged in to do it hourly, so let's not trigger that. Let's also make sure that we're on a Sunday, because we've said we're on Sunday. So that's a Friday, so we'll bring it back to the 20th, and we will change the time to, if we go to here actually. If we go to time setting in here, we do, but we don't need to use this one. Okay, fine. So let's make it the 20th, the 26th, set date, doink, and then make it. Can I? It'd be nice if I could just update via midday dawn. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And let's start our clock starting. Yeah. There we go. Philip Butler. Early morning. Bring, 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 bring. Because he'll probably still have like a. Maybe he's updated to a button phone in the house. You know, one of the grey phones with the handset of a coil cord, and he his wife answers the phone, and she's like, yes, and she's sleepy, but she's the phone's on his side, but he's a deep sleeper. He's probably an alcoholic. I mean, he's a police officer. A detective inspector. Is Detective Inspector Butler available? Because of course they would never assume that a woman was a detective now, let alone in the 90s. Because it was shit. And she's like, 1 second. And she wakes him awake, and he gets up and he gets on the phone. Yes, what is it? The Harris residence. Okay. Immediately. Okay. Oh, I understand. Yes. Okay. And he hangs up, and she's like, trouble, honey? Trouble, dear? Honey's more of an Americanism, right? Trouble, dear? Oh, some darn politician's gone and got himself in a bit of bother. So I need to drive into the Lake District and go see what's going on there. So I might be so home late then, dear. Yes, probably quite late. Well, the dinner will be in the dog, darling. Good luck and have a great day. Oh, yes, and he gets dressed and heads off, and he kind of drives into the large kind of, because he follows. He lives in as previously noted. He lives in so he lives in just in the outskirts of Penrith, and he gets in his car and he drives down the A66 into the Lake District. You can see the big old hills that you see as you go into the Lake District. I think so, anyway. Those pointy things strike me probably as being peaky. Yeah. And the moors are all around, and this kind of beautiful rolling scenery as the sun starts to rise in the horizon. And he's listening to Radio 4 on his little FM receiver. It's really bad reception. It goes and he looks at it and grumbles every now and again. The clouds are light, and he can start breaking up as the sun rises, and he probably arrives at the manor, which is kind of in the moors, off of the main road. And near the Combeck River, it's a river at that point. Because he leaves. So he kind of follows the A66, and then passes low hollows, and heads up into Reginald Street, and yeah, let's have a look to see what's around here. That's good. Private roads, love them. Oh yeah, yes. It's like it's not a man. It's a farmhouse, right? So he pulls in and there's a police car with a couple of officers and a forensic van, which is a big white van. Well, it's like a 3.5 tonner, parked outside the front of the house. It's a kind of a grey stone building, a pair of grey. So it's like a main 2-story house with a traditional roof on it, and it's kind of a very grey kind of stone that they're made out of, very intricate stonework. And then to the side, there's kind of like clearly what was once a barn. It's not been converted. It's still kind of like, it probably houses how he keeps his horses in it. And then like a shed, which is done in the same style. And the trees all around. It's late July, so everything's kind of like quite lush and green and alive, unlike at the moment where it's all wet. And yeah, the detective kind of sees Butler coming up. Morning, Butler. Right, lads. What's going on in here? It's a real mess. He really did a number on him. Oh, right. So we think you think it's you think it was him? Well, no doubt about it. The guy was covered in ooze. It was real disgusting. I don't know why they've got London style accents. They're in the Lake District. They almost certainly don't have London style accents. I presume this is why I can imagine that when Americans do Lovecraftian things, they slip into some kind of redneck accent, and then a southern accent, and then they use that for all their police. Probably, I don't know. It just feels right. But of course, the two coppers who are out front at the car are smoking. Offer him a cigarette, and he's like, "I don't mind if I do." And he takes a cigarette. It lights it up. It's pretty grim in there as well. How grim? Phew. Jenkins here let his lunch up. It's so grim. And the guy next to him, Jenkins, is looking a bit green, right? As in, like, he's a bit not. He's feeling the worst of wares. He's like, I haven't seen anything like it before, sir. It's poor. I don't envy those forensics folks. He nods in the direction of the van. But then again, I guess they get off on it, don't they? Yeah. The other one goes looking at him, and the detective kind of nods. Well, I doubt there's going to be much hassle out here, but make sure no one gets in. Yeah. As he says that, a car pulls up outside the property, because it's got a long old drive. The drive's probably like 200 meters or something between the start of the drive and the gates are closed because after the detective gets in, they close the gate. And a car comes up. It's probably like a Ford Prefect or something. And a woman gets out, and a guy's got out behind her, and he's got a big old video camera, and does he? Nah. just a woman turns up, and she gets out of her car, and she's like, excuse me, and the detective kind of looks over and sighs and shakes his head and heads in towards the building as the police officers go to deal with the journalist. And yeah, he arrives inside of a building, and the forensics people in kind of like they're probably just in suits in this era. They probably don't have like nice white suits to do the thing. They're probably just like actual kind of suits. Nowadays they like wear tracksuits and have like all sorts of stuff to make sure they don't contaminate the scene. But it's not that kind of time. It's the 90s. And it's England, and it's the provinces. I mean, you're really getting out there by the time you've got 90s England and provinces. You're really looking kind of old school. And yeah, he goes in and he notices that, what was his name? He notices Henry, who lights up when who looks across at him, and he also looks pretty green, and he's kind of stood there kind of awkwardly, not quite knowing where to put himself. And he's like, morning, Wellington. Quite the scene, he says, looking across the kind of blood splattered walls. He's like, oh, I've never seen anything like it. Philip goes and takes a drag on his cigarette, blows it out. Well, there's always a first time, son. There's always a first time. So, what do you know so far? Well, he at about around about 5 a.m. We received probably, let's think actually, before the detective got involved. Late last night. So late last night we got a call from Reginald Harris's PA assistant, Davin Smith, who said that we needed to get down there. Who said that the police needed to get down there and keep strip on what was going on. Apparently, Mr. Harris had phoned Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith arrived on the scene. This is a thought, right? Do we immediately identify? Because would Davin Smith have got him to clean himself up beforehand? Are we going to have to figure out that? Let's ask a question of the universe. Just because, what would Davin Smith have thought? Depends on who he is, doesn't it? Will Davin Smith have tried to cover up the fact that Reginald did the murder and invariably done it badly, right? 3. No. Okay, right, yeah. So, they called Davin Smith. Davin Smith went round, apparently saw the scene, and apparently first of all, if any phoned us. Right, are we getting a do we know if any other numbers were called? Can we get a link through to BT to find out if any other calls are made from the premises? Of course, already on it. It could take a while though, you know what it's like. I know. So we put in an ask for let's find the obsidian thing. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to Carl. questions from BT. So, right, BT, British Telecom, just in case you didn't know. Back in the day, they did all of the telephones. I think they do mostly still. Well, there's Virgin, and there are probably some other pretend people that do telephones, but that's the main one. Yeah, so it looks like he, well, upon arriving, Mr. Smith was Mr. Harris was covered in found covered in blood in a traumatized state. He claims that he's got no recollection of the past 24 hours, and yeah, he looks around. The children were all, the family appears to all have been shot initially, and then then they've been, he says, and he looks around, how can I put it, they've been spread throughout the premises. I couldn't say any more than that, sir. Right, let's go have a look. Let's talk to the forensics boys. Wellington, Butler says. And he goes in and sees the initial scene. And the initial scene is pretty horrifying, so I think we're going to need a sanity roll out of him. It's a disturbing, macabre scene that even the likes of Butler hasn't seen before. 60. But Butler's a savvy old goat, and he looks around and he frowns as he sees kind of the debris scattered throughout the kitchen, throughout the living room. It probably goes into first. There's only kind of 4 forensics people, and he frowns, looks. You can see all the standard memorabilia that you would assume to be around a rich Tory's house. All very stereotypical, of course. And he goes, hey, one of the forensics people, oh, forensics. Hey, look up at him. 1 to 3, fem. 4 to 6, mask. 4, okay, it's a dude. I should probably have done that. Put like 1 should have been fem, and 2 to 5 is 2 to 6 is mask. But he looks up. Oh, Butler, how are you doing? Oh, Wells, how are you? He just note this down, because I expect the police are going to end up being reasonably regular reoccurrences. Wells, who's in forensics. He's kind of an older gentleman, older than Butler. He's got like a greyish beard. He's got glass spectacles. He's currently got on his gloves. Looks up. Nasty business, this. It definitely looks it. Definitely looks it, Wells. What's going on? Well, it looks like he gunned down his wife first in the kitchen, and then proceeded to gun down the children. He had a registered shotgun, you see. No, not so many of many of these old farmhouses. Yeah, that seems to be a thing with these farmhouses. But a lot of these folks still packing with shotguns. He looks around, and most of them still using to shoot their wives and kids as well. Exactly. Well, normally they follow it by. Normally they don't follow it up by in great detail dissecting them and then placing them in what initially appeared in bits and pieces across the building. And then it was just, please come here, come and have a look at this. And Wells leads Butler and Wellington. Wellington looking quite fruity at the moment. Into another room. It's kind of the utility room. Look, it looks like some kind of symbol and words written around the room. And again with this, Butler looks around very clearly, bits and pieces kind of organised across the room, and a large kind of stereotypical pentagram in the middle of it, but then lots of weird squiggles around it. So you think that's some kind of writing there, do you, Wells? Yes, almost certainly. Although almost certainly it's some kind of strange madness he made up in his own mind. Claiming he doesn't remember any of it, of course. I find that unlikely. But you never know. The mind's an incredibly curious thing. We'll have to see what the old head shrinkers have to say. I expect he's going to try and claim insanity or something ridiculous like that. Wells takes another look around the property. Not Wells. Butler takes another look around the place and frowns. This is compared to the previous scenes, which were just kind of like a gory and gruesome. This is also kind of unusual, but again, Wells is not unused to this kind of thing. Although this is definitely new, but I think with this kind of one, it probably takes a D4 worth of sanity regardless, because it feels like it's probably pretty stressful viewing. 1 point. Okay, so they're down to 64. So looks like a full homegrown wrapped up thing then, he says, flicking through, looking through the odds and ends collected on the various surfaces. He's like, yes, it looks like it. Very strange. Now, I suppose we're going to have to ask a question here. Or let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of the stuff that we've got going on in this solo system, because undisturbed downtime, time frame, direction table. So this isn't going to be downtime regardless. This will either be development or discovery. So, development, discovery. Well, I think this will just have to be discovery, right? Someone slips you. Do. Okay, so at the site, the question is: do we find any evidence of? Do we find any evidence? Do we find any evidence relating to well, no, I think so. Do we find any related to the unknown in the property other than the crime scene? Question mark. I think I'm unsure, right? I think this is going to 50-50. Chaos rank 5. Yeah, that makes sense. Send it to chat. No. 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 Oh. Okay. That's interesting. Unexpected random event. Something negative for the player character. Celebrate and pain. So, I presume... Well, yes, we do. And also... doubles. Doubles. So that's what's given us this. So, the... celebrate pain. PC negative. I know kind of like what immediately I would imagine it was. Is that it's like the anniversary of something bad for him. Right? So, which is interesting, right? If it's an anniversary of something bad for him, maybe it's the anniversary of a similar case, right? Which could also tie into anniversary of a similar case he saw when he was a constable, right? Maybe. Does that sound good? Anniversary of a similar case he saw when he was a constable. And I'd imagine that at this moment he hasn't put 2 and 2 together, right? So it's probably like 20 years. 20 or so years ago. So I wouldn't say that celebrate, you know, for celebrate for me kind of feels like it could be related to an anniversary. Pain, that's quite obvious. Saver is knee is playing up. Knee is playing up from a niggling injury he picked up during while standing watch at a crime scene. So yeah, he was there one night, and he gets this little flashback of him standing in front of a property in I've moved maps around back. Ooh. In Penrith, yeah, he got knocked over and kind of slammed his knee into the ground. And whilst it wasn't serious, he's been, you know, every now and again it plays up. And that kind of plays up, and he kind of winces a bit as he thinks about it. But also, yes, so there's some other evidence. Is there a table in here that relates to what the evidence might be? NPC occupations, NPC keywords, interacting with monsters, verb table, clues table. There is a clues table. Okay, let's roll. See if we like what we get. 15. Well, of course there's a 7 limb. 27. Nah. Sometimes I think it's probably just easiest to just go down one of these lists and go, oh, that looks interesting, and take that. What should we do? What should we do? I think that's kind of too obvious. That's fine. I think we're going to go with... We're going to go with... We're going to go with... an old photo? Finds an old photo on just kind of he wanders around and he finds on one of his of a guy's study. So the study is entirely untouched by the looks of it. So he goes into the study. Wellington's behind him. And it's got lots of strange. It's got lots of like Latin books and stuff that Butler's got no understanding of. And on the table, it's got like a picture of some people. It's probably been taken in the it was probably taken in the 60s. So it's a colour photo, but it's in a frame, picture frame, and sat on his desk, sat on his study table, and on the table there are just there's no notes, nothing. It's all very clean. And he kind of looks and he slides open the drawer of the study table desk, and it's empty. There's nothing in there. But he also notices that there's not really very much dust in there, and it's kind of got a velvet base. So he notices that there's a bit of a depression where it looks like there's been something in there for a long time, which isn't there anymore. And he hums to himself and slides the drawer closed. And of course he kind of moves through the rest of the house and observes the various scenes. The two teenagers were shot in. One of them was shot in their room. One of them was shot in the corridor. Both shot upstairs, and he moves down into the back to the kitchen. So there's like a pile of knives and stuff in the sink, and looks at Wells. And Wells is like, yes, I wouldn't say that he used the most elegant tools for the job. Definitely didn't have himself a scalpel or a bone saw. Just seemed to have made do with common household kitchen materials. And Butler nods and looks and goes, what the things people do, eh? He says to Wells. And Wells nods, and Wellington goes, what kind of sicko was he? And Butler shrugs and heads into the back, heads out of the house. So we're going to have to... But it looks at him going, I guess the next thing for us is to go and interview Mr. Harris. See what he has to say for himself. He's going to be... Word is they've taken him to the... They've taken him to the station house in Keswick. Keep him away from Penrith for the time being. Oh, that's a bit of a nuisance, isn't it? You're telling me. Anyway, let's go. Keep this out of the hair of the bloody tourists. And he gets in his car and he sees the woman still stood. He kind of drive out and the police open thing, and there's a knock on the window of his what car does he probably drive? He probably doesn't drive a Jag. Maybe he does. Yeah, he does. So he's driving a Jag. He's not Morse, I promise. And doesn't Morse drive a Beetle or something, a Mini? And he winds down the window and sees that it's Nancy Jones. Not Nancy Jones, that's a mistress. It's Sally Wiseman. Miss Wiseman, how are you doing today? So what on earth's going on with what on earth's going on with Reginald Harris then? Nothing of any concern. She gives him a look. He shrugs and goes, "What do you expect me to say? Nothing's going on. If there is anything, there'll no doubt be an announcement at some point. Thank you very much. I think you. I hope you have a nice day. I know something's happened. Like, yeah. Well, you'll just have to keep that imagination of yours under control." And he waves out of the window as he drives off, and heads to Keswick. And well, right before Wellington's like, yeah. So how did you get here anyway? Oh, I got a lift with one of the constables. Nah, would you say? Actually, no. He's got a Micra, right? A Nissan Micra that he drives. And that's what he's got. He doesn't really fit in it properly, but he gets in and he follows along behind Butler's Jaguar. And she's like, "You've got any statement about what's going on with Minister Harris?" And no, I'm afraid not. No, bye. And she tries to collar Wellington, and Butler gives a stern gaze in his rear view mirror, and almost certainly Wellington could feel it in his soul, and continues following on and doesn't stop to engage with the reporter, the journalist. And that is where we'll leave it tonight. And we could get into the proper case tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next Saturday. I'm going to go and make some werewolf characters. And it's going to be good times. It's going to be fun. I hope that was interesting. We actually started with something. We kind of talked a lot about the English countryside. So, yeah, cool. Top bananas. You all have a great weekend, and more importantly, watch Heartstopper. If you haven't seen season 1, watch that, and if you haven't seen season 2, watch that. And yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Tomorrow we'll be delving into the dungeons again. And yeah, top bananas. And I think maybe on Monday I'm going to do Star Trek. because I don't like Forged in the Dark solo. I don't think I like Forged in the Dark. I understand it's great. I can see why it's great. I know it's great, and I know why other people love it. But it's not my fight. I mean, it's not my runway, not my lane, not my drive, not my thingy. So until then, humans, stay beautiful, stay wonderful, and yeah, have fun, be good, be excellent to one another. And I will talk to you when I talk to you. So long. Arrivederci. Have fun. Bye.